All right, let's talk about the mortgage industry. It feels like it's at a real turning point, right? Well, one company, Go Companies, is making a huge bet on a new leader with a pretty radical vision. His name is Jay Promisco. So today, we're going to break down his bold strategy. It's not just about surviving today, it's about building the mortgage company of the future. And this quote? This really says it all. Promisco isn't just trying to make small tweaks for today's market. Nope, he's thinking way bigger. He's aiming to build the mortgage company for the next decade. That's a fundamental shift, you know? It's moving from just reacting to what the market does to actually trying to define it. So let's dig into how he plans to do that.
So who exactly is Jay Promisco? Well, he's a total veteran. We're talking over 2 decades with major players like Sierra Pacific Mortgage and Stearns Lending. But check out his most recent gig, Jazz X AI. See, that's not just another line on the resume, it's a statement. He's blending that deep, old-school mortgage expertise with a seriously tech-forward mindset. And that combo, that's the key to his whole vision.
Okay, here's the roadmap for what we're covering. First up, why a new leader arrived. Then, we'll get into what building the future mortgage actually means. After that, we'll look at reimagining the customer experience and how they're tackling the housing shortage. And we'll wrap it all up with the do-right philosophy that ties everything together.
All right, Section 1, a new leader arrives. So the big question is, why Go Companies? For Promisco, this wasn't just about getting a fancy CEO title, not at all. He was actively on the hunt for a team that already got it, you know? A team that believed what he believed, that the industry had to change. It was all about finding that perfect cultural fit so they could build something new from the ground up. And these were basically his deal breakers. He was looking for like-minded people, a real cultural alignment, and a shared vision of where the business could go. The most important thing, a focus on the future, not being stuck in the past. Think about it. He wasn't just interviewing for a job. He was interviewing the company. He needed partners who wanted to build what's next, not just keep the lights on. Okay, Section 2, building the future mortgage. And that focus on the future brings us right to his core diagnosis of the entire industry. He basically sees the mortgage world as being stuck at a crossroads, just clinging to these old, outdated models that just don't work anymore. And here's the divide he sees, laid out plain and simple. On one side, you've got the legacy companies. They're stuck in the past, looking at business the same way they have for 20 years. It's all transactional. But on the other side, you have Go's vision. It's future-focused, thinking about what's next. It's about building something sustainable and repeatable. It's a total mindset shift, away from just one-off deals to creating long-term value. All right, Section 3, reimagining the customer experience. So a big vision is great, but how do you actually make it happen? Well, for Promisco, it all starts with the customer. His core strategy is to completely reimagine that customer experience, putting them dead center in every single decision. So here's the game plan, broken down into 4 pretty clear steps. Step 1, you analyze every single process and procedure. Tear it apart. Step 2, you leverage technology and people. It's not one or the other, you need both. Step 3, you use everything you've learned to completely reimagine the workflows. And the result of all that work, the final step, you elevate the customer experience. Simple, right? Next up, Section 4, solving the housing shortage. And look, this future-focused vision isn't just about internal processes. It goes way beyond that. It's about tackling one of the biggest challenges we face, the housing shortage. And this is where Promisco believes Go can be a real differentiator, by actively trying to help solve the inventory crisis. Which, of course, raises a huge question. I mean, how can one lender really make a dent in the housing affordability crisis? To a lot of people, it feels like this massive, unsolvable problem.
Well, Promisco's answer is a really practical 2-part solution. It's simple, really. First, you start with education. You empower borrowers with knowledge. Then, once they're ready, you give them a whole toolkit of different product options so you can find the perfect solution for their exact situation.
And this specialized toolkit is what really got his attention. I mean, it goes way beyond just standard loans. You've got down payment assistance programs and first-time homebuyer education, which is great. But the real game changers, renovation loans and construction financing for individuals. And why is that so important? Because those don't just help people buy homes that already exist, they help create new ones. That's how you tackle a shortage. And if we dig a little deeper into that, you can see it's a really smart 2-pronged attack. On one hand, they're all in on supporting traditional stick-built construction.
but at the same time, they're really leaning into manufactured homes. And that's a strategy all about speed, getting more homes out there faster. It's just a super practical way to approach a massive problem. And that brings us to our final section, number 5, the do-right philosophy. This is the moral foundation, the bedrock that supports everything else we've just talked about. It's the simple guiding principle for the whole company. Just listen to this. I think what the industry needs more than anything right now is to do the right thing always, which it has a hard time doing. Wow, that is a powerful shot at the entire industry. Promisco is basically arguing the core problem isn't about money, it's about ethics. And that's a direct challenge the way things have always been done. So what does do right actually mean in practice? It means having the discipline to put a customer in the right loan for them at the right time in their life. It's the exact opposite of trying to make a quick buck by pushing someone into a more expensive loan just to pump up the revenue on that one deal.
And this isn't just some nice-sounding motto for customers. The do-right philosophy is a full 360-degree commitment. It's about doing right by the consumer, for sure, but also by their own employees, their loan officers, everyone. The big idea is to set a new, higher standard for the entire industry.
Which really brings us back to the biggest question of all. In an industry that is so often driven by transactions and profit margins, can a simple philosophy of just doing the right thing actually be a disruptive force? Well, Jay Promisco and the whole team at Go Companies are betting everything that it can. And honestly, that's a future that's definitely worth watching.